Do you work or are you a student?
At the moment, I'm working. I completed my study at the university. It was about 4 years ago.
What did you study at university?
I studied material science and engineering at the university. It was the field that I've always liked to do my study in.
Why did you choose that subject?
As I mentioned before, I'm always been fascinated by materials, science and engineering and their novel application in different aspects of science and technology.
Can you describe yourself as a good student?
To be honest, I was not an eager beaver nor the teacher's pet, but I tried my best to study as hard as I can.
Do you study English now?
Yeah. I studied English 3 times a week and I participated in different free discussion classes in order to enhance my knowledge and improve my skills.
Did you enjoy studying at a school?
It was a marvelous opportunity for every student to be in a environment which they can interact with their colleagues and person who are in the same age. And for me, it was one of the greatest moments of my life.
In this part, you're going to read a text and you have to talk about it about between 1 to 2 minutes.
I would like to talk about my last year at high school. I can vividly remember that time. Not only was it very difficult due to the enormous amount of homework that we had, but also it was very challenging and demanding for us because we were supposed to be prepared for national university entrance exam. I remember that I was really busy and had no time to goof around, but sometimes, mostly at weekends, we went shopping or doing different activities and for entertainment with our friends in order to alleviate our stress and refresh our mind, and we eat out sometimes. Eventually, whereas all my efforts were not paid off, but I could be admitted at a university which I always dreamed about.
In this part, I'm going to ask you some questions regarding the previous part, and you're supposed to answer them with more details. Okay. What are some essential qualities every teacher should have?
As for me, every teacher must be able to attract attentions and make the subjects more interesting for the students. Furthermore, a teacher must be really reliable, and he or she must be prepared to sacrifice having free time for teaching subjects to the students. And on top of this, a good teacher need to be really generous and hard work.
Mm-hmm. What are some pros of studying on a distance learning courses?
From the point of my view, It's really advantageous to learn in such a way. In some cases, it is far more efficient. It is far more cheaper because you do not need to spend any money in order to communicate, or you do not need to to be prepared prepared in uniform, for example, like when we are at schools. But it has some negative points. For example, it lacks the essential interaction between teacher and student, and maybe it's not really efficient for some students.
Does everybody get equal opportunity to study?
Definitely not. It really depends on a country you live in, and your financial capabilities. For example, some students are in a family whose their parents are rich and they can afford what he or she wants, and in some cases, students cannot afford the minimum requirement for studying or for continuing their education. And in my opinion, unequal distribution of wheels must be blamed.
Why do you think many students would like to go to prestigious universities?
Honestly, there are a number of likely explanations for this. But my impression is that the leading cause is that in top universities, courses are taught by leading scholars. A further significance might be that as the tuition fee in prestigious university is really high, chances of winning a scholarship to these universities are very strong.